think we are live here. So it should pop up for everyone that we are live streaming on Facebook. And I'm going to spotlight myself so you guys aren't all in there. So if you are joining us from Facebook, welcome. If you're on the meeting, welcome. If you wish you were on the meeting, then scroll down to find the link and you can join our Zoom meeting, okay? So we are talking about demos for Tupperware and how they can be used to build your business and why you want to use them to build your business, right? And I know many of us here, we've done some demos already. Some of you guys maybe have never done a demo, and that's perfectly okay. So I've got some notes here. I hope you guys have a pen and paper. Notes is my first tip to give you guys. Make notes, because when you are in front of a camera, sometimes you the words don't come out as you thought they would come out, right? So notes usually help with that. Everybody has notes. I do. I know many other directors do. It's not something that you just try to wing most of the time. Have your notes, have your recipe handy, and that will make everything go a lot smoother, right? So why do we demo? We demo to show off items in action. So I have the Supersonic Chef here. This is a perfect example of something that you want to show off in action to show how it works, right? When you see this in the catalog, not very many people understand how much power it holds, right? Or how quickly it can chop things. But when you show it off and you're doing that in action, you know, with food actually inside and you're chopping, that's going to make a totally different impression on people, and it's going to show it off so much better than if you just show a picture. Even if you show a picture of, you know, coffee beans in here whole and coffee beans chopped, when you see that it actually only took you 5 seconds to chop those coffee beans, it's going to make a huge impact, and it really has great selling potential because you just can't tell by seeing it in the catalog or seeing it online, right? So you want to make sure you are showing them off. And it gives you an opportunity to explain what product you are demoing, right? So we know this chops, but we also know there's so many little built-in features that make it that much easier to use, right? It's got this specialized grip on the top. It's got the pulling cord. You can explain all those functions. Most Tupperware products have about, 10 features at least in every product that you can talk about. Like even the bowls have many features. So when you're talking about those on a demo, you can explain all that. Whereas the catalog often doesn't have that information. And that's the benefit of having a consultant versus just shopping without a consultant, right? And you can show real life size and color of things. Like that is huge. We have the modular mates that are coming on sale right away, of course. Many people don't know how big is the modular mate, right? Like how big is it really? And if you come online and you do a video, the modular mate demos are gonna look a little different, of course, but you're showing the size of that modular mate. Or maybe you're showing one of the sales that just came on and it's a different color and people wanna know what color does that really look like, right? You come on and you show the color. And it allows you to give little tips and tricks. Like if you are into baking a lot, you probably know a lot of things that many people don't know, and they can learn from you if you do those during your demos, right? And most importantly, maybe, customers can get to know you, right? Because you are their consultant and they can get to know you. So that's another reason. So those are the main reasons I think why we want to demo the products. And we want to demo them in our parties. We want to demo them in our VIP groups, at home parties, of course, on your profile on occasion. So I'm going to mostly be touching here about online demos, like how you can do them online. But I will do a little bit about home demos if you're into that. Hopefully we are all into that sometime in the future, right? But we might not be right now. But what's important is you guys start small, right? You have to start somewhere. And I don't know if you guys saw that little great video I posted of myself in the event. If not, go there and look quickly later. But you have to start somewhere in order to build up your comfortableness, right? Like nobody starts doing live videos thinking that like they can't just walk in and know everything about this product and know how to explain it perfectly. Like, no, that's not going to happen. But when you start somewhere, slowly you will become more and more comfortable talking about the Tupperware products and having that live interaction with people, right? So start somewhere because you can never be great if you never even start, right? So how to set up your demo space is the first thing I will do here. If you guys have any comments or questions, just leave them in the chat. I cannot see the Facebook chat, but if you are on the Zoom call, leave them in the chat, and I will get back to you. If you're on Facebook, though, I'll get back to you after the call. So the demo space is super important. Devin showed us kind of what not to do a little bit, right, before we started here. But you want to make sure you have a clean space and use your kitchen if at all possible, right? Like, I know we all have different kitchens. Some people, you might not have a pretty kitchen that you like to show off, but we all have some kind of space to use. If that's not available in your kitchen, you could use your kitchen table. But I find that you work in the kitchen, right? You cook in the kitchen, and you want to be showing off your demos as you are doing these things. You don't have to have set time aside necessarily to demo, but if you're making something in the kitchen right then, why not show it off, right? Why not go online, do a quick demo, or record it on your phone to post later because you're already doing it. And if you have to take all of your ingredients, all of your Tupperware over to your table, you're far less likely to do it. So find a way to make it work in your kitchen, and it will probably work better for you, okay? So create a space with as few distractions as possible. My backdrop here isn't too bad, but if you have seen my demos, which I know many of you guys have, I don't show you that space. I show you this space. Go plant there now. I show you this space, okay? So this is what you see if I am doing a demonstration. You don't see the rest of my kitchen. Usually my plant isn't there getting sunshine, but I don't have a lot going on here in my demo, and that is key. If you were here in my kitchen during the day, you wouldn't see it like this, guys. Like, you wouldn't. This is my counter for dirty dishes, and there are always dirty dishes because I have 3 kids, but you don't see them right now. I actually did do the dishes before our call. Often I will stack my dirty dishes right here, and I will stack them on my floor. You don't see them because I don't let you see them, right? I let you see my demo space that looks clean and tidy, and you don't have all those distractions in the background. So do what you can to clean it. Like, you can put them on the floor, you can put them on your stove, you can put them on your table. Whatever you have here, try to make it a clean counter so it's not distracting to the people, to distract from the actual product that you are showing off, right? Because it will. It creates background noise. And if you really can't do that, you could try to find like a black sheet or a white sheet and just drape it over what you have. And that will be better than all those distracting dishes or cereal boxes or pantry goods or whatever it is that you have. That would be better just to make that clean space, okay? Yeah, so that's my first point here. No one's kitchen is clean though. It's really not. It's all just what we do to do the demos nicely, okay? So other distractions are noise distractions, of course. Like, if you have kids, some kid noise is perfectly normal, or husband noise maybe, or whoever else is in your house. That's perfectly normal, but it reaches a point whereas if it's too much, it's going to be hard for people to hear you, and it's going to be distracting, right? So send your kids to the other room for 5 minutes, or to the basement or outside, or get someone else to watch them, or turn off the dishwasher. That's a good one too, or the microwave, or something that's noisy in your kitchen. Make sure to turn that off before you get going, because you want to keep that to a minimum. And point number next, whatever I'm on now, is lighting. Make sure you are considering the lighting in your kitchen. I have really good pot lights that I put in my ceiling, but if you don't have good lighting, people can't see what you're actually doing, right? So that makes it hard to show off what you're doing. So I have really good natural lighting in the afternoon. Usually that is when I like to do my demos because of that natural lighting. You could also find a lamp, right? Like, if you have a lamp in your living room, bring it on over, plug it in, and that will create some light. Use your cell phone. Use your light on your cell phone or your partner's cell phone if you're actually recording with your cell phone, and use that flashlight to shine on. You can get these ring lamps. This is like, I think it's like 25 or 30 bucks. You can get these in all shapes and forms on Amazon, and they plug in and they light up like you would not believe. So you can get those. This one actually has a spot to put your camera, and they're really not that expensive, guys, and they will create a big difference for how your video actually looks. So those are some ideas for lighting, but you just want to make sure you have something going on so that you can actually be seen, right? And next is your appearance. And Devin touched on this a little bit. Your appearance matters more to you than to anyone else. And that is what I have to say about that. So be comfortable with how you look, right? Because that is going to matter the most. Nobody else is judging you, whether your hair is perfect or whether your shirt is perfect, like they would wear, what kind of fashion you're wearing. People are not judging you on that. Make sure you have no broccoli in your teeth and no boogers in your nose, right? And those are the only things you need to worry about. But other than that, like, you are going to be your harshest critic. So if you are okay, like, remember you're putting this on the internet, right? So if someone rang your doorbell and they came in and had coffee in your house, if you feel comfortable with how you look to do that, then that would probably be, you know, an okay thing to do your demo with online, right? So you kind of have to judge it like that. Of course, though, it depends a little bit on your audience and where you are doing your demo. If you are doing a demo in your customer group or your VIP group, and those are your customers, hopefully they get to know you a little better, right? If you're doing it for your friends on your profile, your friends all know you and they know what you look like, right? And they're not going to be critics as well. But if you are doing it in your party, one of your Tupperware parties, that's their first impression of you, right? So you want to keep that in mind, that that is their first impression of you. If they, if you just rolled out of bed and you've got bed head and pajamas, that's probably not a great first impression to make to customers at your Tupperware party, right? But just make sure you're being comfortable, and you have to be confident, and you will be fine about your appearance then. A Tupperware shirt like I've got here is awesome if you have a Tupperware shirt. If not, we have logos or iron-on logos that you can get, or you can ask your director and we will give you a challenge to get them. Or you can get to the as well. Not sure if they're available in the Tough Online store right now, but you can get an apron. And aprons are my favorite. They come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. But when you put on an apron, it doesn't matter what you're wearing underneath, right? You can just cover it up and then blammo, you look great. So I highly recommend getting an apron, guys. But this is all for online. If you are doing a in-person Tupperware party, of course, you want to make sure you are representing yourself as well nicely to customers, and you don't want to wear your pajamas. That should go without saying, but that's in person. I could be wearing my pajama pants right now and nobody would know. And that has happened many times. I am actually wearing jeans right now, but you would never know, right? And that's the beauty of being virtually there. Okay, so anybody have any questions so far about any of that? Okay, good. So remember your audience of who you're talking to. We talked about a clean countertop, looking how you feel comfortable and confident, lighting, noise, and how do you actually use your camera? That's my next point here. So almost everybody will record a video or do a Facebook Live on their cell phone. Not many people actually do through their computer because it's just easier, right? So you can get a tripod off Amazon. I just recently looked into it. They're like 20 bucks. You can get a really nice tripod. I have never ever used a tripod myself. So I'll show you guys what I use. Every single time I do a demo, not this time because I've got my computer. This is what I use. It's super fancy. I've got a Tim Hortons ceramic mug and I've got a that's a bowl and I put my phone like this. And it works great. So that's my cheap solution. I love that I don't store a tripod. I just always use this. Or sometimes you can put it in the cup. So that's what I use. The other ladies here can share after what they use, because it's probably not the same as my solution, but that is what works for me, right? So you just want to make sure you are propping up your camera. I don't recommend holding it to film much unless you really have to, because we just shake, especially when you're nervous. You're going to be shaking a little bit more and the camera picks that up. Occasionally, to have a little twist on how you could do it, you could let someone else hold the camera, right? Like your husband or your child could film for you, and that's a nice way to get them involved. But if you can, try to prop it up from somewhere, or on your stove, like back there on your stove, you could prop it up. You could prop it up on the wall, but you want to try to elevate your camera, right? So if I have my camera right here and I'm talking, you're just going to be seeing a whole lot of this part of my face, which is not good. You want to try to bring it up a little bit. And if you are new at demos and you are not comfortable showing yourself at all, that is perfectly normal, I would say. So don't feel like every single demo you have to show your face, you have to be talking. Start small, right? So if you want to just set up a camera so you can see your wall face, and you can see your hands, and you can actually see your face, that's perfectly fine. You're still going to be talking, you're still going to be explaining the features and benefits of the product, right? So that is a great starting place. If you are new to demos, I still do it on occasion as well. So that's a great starting place. Don't think that you have to always show your face, okay? And what to demo is my next point here. So we want to make sure that we are showing things that can't just be understood by looking at the catalog, basically, right? So you can see on my counter here, I have the One Touch canisters. I have done demos with those because even those have some features and benefits, right? But some of the best things are things that can be done in action. So my One Touch canister here, this doesn't have a lot of action to it. Like how I can demo this product includes opening it and and pushing it in the middle. And that took me all of like 2 seconds, right? So it's not a bad thing. And I often do pull them off my counter and just show it. I'm showing other demonstrations as well. But you want to make sure you are showing products that that really you can explain the benefits of. So microwave cookware is one of the best ones to demonstrate if you have those products, because people don't have microwave cookware until they usually learn about the microwave cookware. You know what I mean? Like raise your hand if you actually have cooked in the microwave before you joined Tupperware, because very, very few people did. Okay, I see one, at least one. But very few people cooked in the microwave before they joined Tupperware. So that type of product is something really perfect to grab and to show a recipe and to cook it in the microwave and explain how it works, because people don't understand. And when you see it in the catalog, or maybe you just post a picture of the microwave pasta maker, people don't understand how beautifully it works until they see it demonstrated, right? So that's a great example. The MicroPro Grill, of course, the pressure cooker / stack cooker that Devin showed off there is another one. Things that help with kitchen prep. So we've got mandolins, we've got the Great Master, we've got the Power Chef, this little guy, the Whip and Mix. Those things there, when you see them, we might understand them because like you've been around a while, right? But if you don't explain the Whip and Mix to people, they don't understand how it can actually do it in 30 seconds. But when you show it off, it is super impressive, right? So those are the things that will get the most interest from your customers, right? If you show a bowl and you're talking about a bowl, don't get me wrong, like that's really good and we want to show off the colors and such, but people could look at the catalog and know the function of a bowl. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot of explanation. So make sure you're doing things that can also just help people out, because as a consultant, you want to be giving people tips and tricks, okay? Kitchen gadgets are another one. Can opener, that can opener is fabulous. Like it's one of my favorite products, but it's also a little tricky if you don't see how to use it, right? So that is something that is so good to explain. The corkscrew, the zest and press, those kitchen gadget tools are so good to explain, okay? So those are the best videos to do, and you want to make sure you are actually using them, right? Like if I stand here and tell you about this wonderful product for 10 minutes, like it would be fabulous, but nobody's going to watch till the end of 10 minutes, right? Like I know that. We live in a world where people scroll through Facebook quite quickly, and if you are not talking about the product and showing it off with food inside, not very many people are going to stand there and listen to you talk about the product, unless they also really, really, really love Tupperware. But if you want to get people's attention, you want to be showing your products in action, okay? So don't just stand there talking about them, especially when you start your video. Many people will stand there for 5-10 minutes. Devin didn't do this. She did the opposite and went super fast. But if you stand there for too long talking and chatting, people are going to keep scrolling on by, right? And you kind of miss the window for your audience there. So get right into your demo is how I would encourage you to do it. And learn to talk as you cook and as you demo. And that's something that is definitely a learned skill, and you get better at it as you actually do it. So what I mean by that is I could talk about this product and then I could show you how it chops onions. Or I could tell you about the features as I chop the onions, right? And that grabs people's attention right away, and it gets them watching right away, and they think, man, Nat chopped those onions fast. You know, and after you show them, then you can maybe explain a little more features and benefits, but you want to be making sure that you are doing them at the same time. So practice makes perfect with that. That's just how it is, right? And I want to touch base on recipes versus quick demos, okay? So chopping onions is what I would call a quick demo, right? It shows off how the product works in really quick fashion, right? Everyone who sees that will know exactly that this thing can chop, and chop like it means business, right? And then there's also recipes, which is a lot of what we demo as well. So make sure you have a good mix of both, I would say. In parties, usually I don't do many recipes because they take a lot longer, right? Like they're going to take, I don't know how long it takes most recipes, 10, 15, 20 minutes, right? And again, people don't have that attention, and it gives you more chance to be able to show off more products if you are just doing quick demos. So for parties, I will often show off like onions, carrots, and the Power Chef, and some different other ones like in the Great Master or the Mandolin. I will switch it up. But you also want to make sure you're doing recipes from time to time as well. And as you're doing the recipe, Devin did a great example of showing what not to do, I suppose. But as you were doing that recipe, explain the products and try to mix in as many Tupperware products as you can in your recipe, right? So if you are using measuring cups, you can grab out your measuring cup, which I have handy here. Grab out your measuring cups. Talk about the features really quick of your measuring cups before you grab that, you know, a quarter cup that you need. Don't just grab it and keep going on. Talk about the features of the measuring cups, because did you know, guys, there are features of measuring cups, that make them different than every other measuring cups, right? You can pour from the right, you can pour from the left. We've got etched in writing. There's a couple extra sizes in here. They stack, they nest, they're dishwasher safe. Those are things you can talk about. As you grab your measuring cup, you want to talk about those things and incorporate more and more products. So if your demo has, you know, a few products, always talk about them as you move along through the recipe. And that makes a big difference versus the quick demo, because this just uses pretty much one thing, right? So make sure you have a good mix about that. And if you make a mistake, leave it in there, guys. Leave it in there. Nobody cares about the mistakes. And again, we are almost always our harshest critics. But the truth of it is, if you have a mistake, it makes your video more memorable, right? Like everyone will remember that funny little oopsie, like, and if you're at a home party, it makes it super fun. Like when things go wrong, it makes it super fun and people just laugh and have a good time. And that's the same thing when you do it online, though. Like you can't see people's reactions the same, but it's funny, they laugh, they chuckle, and they know that you're human. And if you burn something, or if you know, like you spill something, just laugh and move on and don't worry about it, because nobody else cares. They really don't. So that's always, one of my top tips is just don't sweat it, really. And if you're in home, the one thing I would recommend if you do an in-home demo for people at a party is do not touch the Tupperware, which may sound tricky, but you do not touch this Tupperware. You put it on the counter, your measuring cups, your Power Chef, whatever you need for the recipe, and you get your customers to come up, and they are going to be the ones who touch this and open it and chop things inside it, and you can talk them through it. And when they touch the Tupperware, that is when they will see, man, that chopping was super, super simple, right? So that is my one tip. If you're doing things in person, always try to get other people touching the Tupperware, okay? So I think that is the majority of what I wanted to mention about the training. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay, so I'm going to stop it there. I think I'm going to try to stop